Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's me, it's AOB, coming back at you with yet another video on the channel, and today we're going to talk about the latest entry in the live-action Transformers movie franchise, Bumblebee. Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, I've mentioned it several times in like a video or two before. The Transformers live-action movie franchise is a franchise that I adore. Yes, even the ones that everybody considers bad, which is more or less all of them. I love the first one. I love the second one even. I love the third one. Well, the third one was my favourite. I even loved the fourth one. And I even loved the fifth. Well, actually, that's a lie. No, I didn't love the fifth one, actually. The fifth one is the only one that I... No. That one was a bit too far-fetched for me. I love the first four Transformer movies, okay? And they have a special place in my heart because of nostalgia. And the fact is, the live-action Transformer movie franchise is what introduced me to Transformers in the first place. It's because of the Michael Bay movies that I went back and explored G1. And I now adore G1, and I adore Transformers overall now. And it is because I was first introduced to them through the Michael Bay movies. So they all have a special place in my heart. Yes, even all of the really bad ones, which... or more or less all of them. Finally, a Transformer movie that everybody else loves too. It feels good. It feels good to not be alone in the world. So let's just get right into talking about the movie, shall we? There's going to be mild spoilers here, so if you haven't seen the movie, probably best not watch this video. Probably come back after you've seen the movie, if you like. So just forewarning you there. The first thing about this movie is that despite it being about the one Transformer, Bumblebee, despite him being the one Transformer in this movie for the most part, this is the most Transformer-y movie out of all of the Transformer movies. I mean, say what you will about the Michael Bay movies, I like them, but those don't feel like Transformer movies, especially if you're coming off of G1. If you were a straight G1 fan growing up in the 80s and then you watch the Transformer movies, yes, they don't feel like anything like Transformers. I would recognise that. But this movie is straight Transformers, down to a T. The designs, the voices, the characters. This is the most Transformers has been Transformers, and this is exactly what the franchise needed. It needed this change. It needed to feel like Transformers, and it didn't feel like, despite the fact that yes, there is a very important element which is about a human character, it didn't overshadow the whole Transformer aspect, which the Michael Bay movies did. The Transformers were always background characters, as in this, the Transformers feel just as important and they feel just as relevant as the human characters do, which is a big improvement. But it also feels like an apology and a love letter to all of the G1 Transformer fans. I mean, yes, the Michael Bay movies did not really respect the lore and the original mythos of the original Transformers. No, it did not at all. Michael Bay just did not give a shadow of a shit. He just changed all sorts and he just didn't care for the source material. Sometimes we even wondered, did he even watch any Transformers before he made this? Does he even know what he's doing? The only thing that he really got right in most people's eyes in the Transformer movies is Optimus Prime and getting Peter Cullen back to voice Optimus Prime. That's about it. But this redeems it all because, like I said, it's got the G1 designs of all the Transformers. This is quite possibly the best thing that has ever happened to the Transformer movies is the original G1 designs. I mean, I actually really like the Michael Bay designs. Well, I like the original trilogy designs of all the characters. I'm not really bothered about the Age of Extinction and Last Night designs. I'm not bothered about the Optimus Prime design, but I really like the original one. Travis Knight, the director, you feel like you're just like, listen guys, Transformers can be good. Look what I'm giving you. Look at this, look how good the Transformers can be. Look, we are sorry for all of the shit that's been shoved down your eye sockets for the past nearly 10 years or however long it's been. Here it is. We're so sorry, and here's more for you. It is a love letter and an apology for all of the past Transformer movies that everybody hates, and I think anybody who is an original G1 fan will love this movie. They open this movie on Cybertron. We've had glimpses of Cybertron in the past in the Michael Bay movies, but not like this. This, I mean, I've wanted a Cybertron movie for years now. This just shows how good a Cybertron movie can and will be if it happens in the future. This stuff on Cybertron is quite possibly the best thing that I've seen out of this franchise so far. Next to the forest fight in Transformers Revenge of the Fallen. The Transformers Revenge of the Fallen forest fight, that scene is special to me. That gives me chills every time. That's one of the best fight scenes I've ever seen in any movie. It's not quite to that level, but the stuff on Cybertron in this film is just absolute orgasmic perfection. I mean, you could see all of the original characters. You saw Optimus Prime, of course, Bumblebee, Wheeljack, Ratchet, Ironhide, all of their G1 designs. And then on the Decepticon side, you saw Soundwave, you saw Shockwave, you saw Starscream. Unfortunately, you didn't see Megatron, which, given the timeline, with this being a prequel to the original Transformers and all, yeah, you couldn't. But you just wish you could see what they would have done with Megatron in this. Would they have given him his G1 design? Would they have had him transform into the giant pistol like he does in the original G1? That would have been amazing. That was the only thing I wish we could have seen. And all of the stuff on Cybertron, it looked amazing. It was just an Optimus Prime. I'm sorry, Optimus Prime is one of the greatest fictional characters out there. He's one of my favourite fictional characters of all time. Anytime Optimus Prime is on screen in anything, as long as he's voiced by Peter Cullen, that is, I am in, I'm locked in. Optimus Prime, man, that guy, I love Optimus Prime so much. He is so dear to my heart. Optimus Prime, I'm sorry, Bumblebee, you're great, I love you, but Optimus Prime stole the spotlight every time he was in the movie, even though he's in it for like 2 minutes. Every time Optimus Prime was on the screen, I was like, sorry Bumblebee, I don't care about you right now, I just want to hear what Optimus has to say. Now let's just stop talking about the Transformers themselves, let's talk about the actual human characters, because if there's one thing the Michael Bay films didn't do very well, it was the characters, the human characters should I say. Majority of the time they're either annoying or they're not, or they're just written poorly. The main character, Charlie, in this movie, played by Hailee Steinfeld, was absolutely brilliant. Hailee Steinfeld pulled this off to a T. She has a great story behind her. Her father unfortunately passed away fairly recently before the events of this film, and she's still hurting and she's still not over that fact, and she pulls that off emotionally really, really well, and you actually buy her performance. And as well as the fact that she was like a mechanic, and it was actually believable that she was a mechanic and she knew how to put cars back together or how to fix cars or the ins and outs of how cars work. We actually bought this because, you know, she actually worked at her uncle's like scrapyard thing, whatever it is. It deals with a lot of scrap, and you could buy the fact it's not like Megan Fox in the first Transformers movie where she spouts out a lot of techno babble about cars and engines, but you're actually thinking, there's no way she knows a single thing about cars. I'm sorry, you don't believe it at all. With Hailee Steinfeld's Charlie, you actually buy it, it doesn't feel forced, and her development as a character is written so well, as well as the relationship between her and Bumblebee. When she finds Bumblebee, the relationship is developed incredibly. There are moments between Bumblebee and Charlie in this movie that made me tear up, like, honestly. And that is partly because they've tug at your heartstrings, because Bumblebee loses his memory and he forgets what he's doing there and who he is, and he's playing this innocent little harmless thing that doesn't know what he's doing, and his eyes, you know, they're taking advantage of the fact that yes, he's a cute robot. And there are moments between Bumblebee and Charlie in this movie that make me tear up, honestly. The development between Bumblebee and Charlie's relationship is written superbly. And at no point was it was paced perfectly. It was just the pacing between the relationship was written and advanced so naturally. And of course, as I mentioned before, Bumblebee loses his memory, but you also hear him talk for the first time. Like in the opening of Bumblebee, you hear his actual voice. I believe he's voiced by Dylan O'Brien. You actually get the reason he doesn't have a voice anymore, because Blitzwing destroyed his voice box. Finally, we got an explanation as to why he can't talk anymore. I'm sorry, I'm just so glad that that finally happened. His voice has been working and not working so many times throughout the Transformer movies. It's been so inconsistent. It's just great to finally have some actual closure as to, right, his voice is gone, it's gonna stay gone, and it's definitely not coming back for now anyway. Here's another thing. As a wrestling fan, of course I know who John Cena is, and John Cena's character in this was... I don't know how deliberate the humour was, but John Cena had some of the funniest lines in this movie, and this just shows John Cena can be a funny guy. He's like The Rock. He doesn't wrestle so much anymore, and he's becoming an actor. He's getting up there in Hollywood. John Cena's character in this was great. He has some of the best lines in the film. Sector 7 are actually believing the stories of the Decepticons in this film to work with them so they can track down Bumblebee. And John Cena, the wise character he is, says, I don't know about this. I mean, their names are Decepticons. How is that not a red flag? I'm like, John Cena, yes, finally, someone points it out. John Cena was a great character in this, and the ending where he realises he was wrong about Bumblebee and Bumblebee saves his life and he salutes Bumblebee at the end, that was a really satisfying moment. And I hope if we get future movies or a sequel to Bumblebee or even like a full-fledged Transformers reboot, which we'll talk about, then I hope John Cena comes back because he was a really good character in this movie. Also, during the action sequences, you could actually see what was going on. No shaky cam nonsense. The camera wasn't right up the Transformers' asses during fight scenes, so you couldn't tell who was fighting what. None of that going on. The camera was actually wide. You could see the CGI robots fighting each other clearly. The final battle in this film was shot superbly, and you could actually make out what was going on, and the choreography was great. This is one of my biggest pet peeves in the Michael Bay Transformer movies, as much as I like them. The fight scenes between the Transformers, you either are filming them, but you've got the camera so close that you can't see what's going on, or it's shaky cam, or you've got the camera on one of the human characters and they're fighting in the background, so you can't really you can see glimpses of it, but you're not getting the full view, and there's just the human character in the forefront for some reason. I don't know why they always did that. The peak of a fight scene for me was, like I said before, the forest fight from Transformers Revenge of the Fallen. Not only was that the best fight scene that we've ever had in a Transformers movie, that is one of my favourite fight scenes in anything ever. That forest fight in Transformers Revenge of the Fallen, for some reason, has never ever been replicated in any form in Transformers. Michael Bay has shown he is capable of showing a good choreographed fight sequence between CGI Transformer characters. The forest fight on its own should prove that. Why haven't we had anything like that since? Why? You're capable of it, why didn't you do it again? The forest fight in Transformers Revenge of the Fallen is my favourite scene in any Transformers movie, and it's one of my favourite scenes ever in anything. Why can't we get that again? It baffles me. And nothing quite reaches the level of the forest fight from Transformers 2 in this, but you can actually see what was going on, and the fight scenes were really satisfying in this film, and this gives me hope. Travis Knight, you did a good job. Well done, lad. Now yes, I am praising this movie a lot. I am praising it like it is the second coming of Christ itself, but I did enjoy this movie a lot. Don't get me wrong, I liked it a lot, but I did not enjoy it as much as I should have. And let me explain why. It is not because this isn't a well-made movie, because it is. It's not just a well-made Transformers movie, it's a well-made character movie. The characters are great, they're developed well, it's a good character piece. But the reason I didn't enjoy this movie as much as I could have done is because the opening on Cybertron. I love that stuff on Cybertron so much. I was so invested in it that when we got off Cybertron and we were on Earth just following Bumblebee and Charlie on its own, I was always thinking in the back of my mind, I just wish we were back on Cybertron watching that stuff right now. And that's just because that Cybertron stuff is something that I've been wanting to see for so long in a Transformers movie, and we actually got glimpses of it for a second, and I was so invested in it that when all the stuff on Earth happened with Charlie and Bumblebee and John Cena's character, I forget his name, I was just, I just want to see more Optimus Prime, I want to see more battles on Cybertron, I just want to see more of that, please. I was just so into that, I just wanted to see more of it, and it was more of a priority in my head than all the stuff going on Earth with Bumblebee and Charlie. I just wanted to see it again so much. It was just all I was thinking about. We got the Cybertron opening, which just put me to tears, I loved it that much. And then they went to Earth and I was just kind of like, as good as this is, I just want to be back on Cybertron and see all the Cybertron stuff. Again, not because it's a bad movie or not a well-made movie, it is a great movie. It's just, personally, I would just want to see more of the Cybertron stuff so much that I just wasn't as invested as the Earth stuff, because I just wanted more of Cybertron. So I didn't enjoy it as much as I should have done. This is kind of why I didn't really want a Bumblebee solo movie, because I love Bumblebee as a character, but a solo movie for Bumblebee, I just don't think Bumblebee is a character to carry his own movie. Optimus Prime is my boy. He's my all-time favourite Transformer, one of my favourite characters. You know, I just want a Transformers movie with him at the forefront is the way to go. And a Bumblebee movie, I was excited, but this is the concern I had. I was concerned I wasn't going to be as bothered as the Earth stuff because of the Cybertron stuff, and it happened. That's exactly what happened. And unfortunately, it affected my enjoyability of the whole film. I still love the film, but not as much as I could have done. Not as much as I did when I watched Transformers Dark of the Moon for the first time in cinemas, for example. I just didn't get that shock and awe as much as I would have done if it was all the Cybertron stuff. Am I getting my point across okay? I still love the movie, and it is objectively the best movie in the Transformers franchise. But don't shoot me, I still love the movie. It's a great movie. Now, the mid-credit scene in this film. Here's the thing. This was built up as a prequel to Transformers. At the end, Bumblebee transforms into the original Camaro from Transformers 1. You're like, okay, it's leading into the first Transformers movie, that's okay. And the rumours of it being a soft reboot kind of dissipated a bit. But then there was a mid-credit scene where Bumblebee and Optimus Prime are walking through like a woods or a forest together on Earth. I'm thinking, well, this completely undoes the first movie, because Optimus Prime and the rest of the Autobots didn't set foot on Earth until 2007, which is when that movie is set. The rest of the Autobots and Optimus don't land on Earth until halfway through the first Transformers movie. And they're on Earth here, which completely undoes the first movie. So is this a reboot? It must be a reboot. They must be rebooting it entirely, because that ending undoes the first one entirely. Not to mention, they've still got their G1 looks. They've got completely different designs, apart from Bumblebee, because he chose the Camaro look, but Optimus Prime has still got his G1 look. He was in his G1 truck mode when they were driving across the bridge together, him and Bumblebee. So this ending obviously must indicate that this is a reboot, because the ending completely undoes the first one. I said, as much as I like the Bay movies, I recognise that they're not the best, and Transformers needs a fresh vision, and it needs a reboot. I'm all for a reboot. If this is a reboot, please do make more of these, because it's not doing too well in the box office, this film, and I do not want that to kill its chances of continuing, because this was such a good movie and it shows potential that the Transformers can be good. Finally, people love Transformers again, and I'm not the only one who loves Transformers anymore. People like it again, and this ending sets up more. Just let this be a reboot, okay? We need a reboot, we need a new vision. This is a good starting point. Let's have an Optimus Prime movie, please, or just a Transformers movie, please. Just let's do it. This ending indicates reboot. I was relieved that ending happened, because it was a good scene and it undid the first one, which made me think, okay, it's obviously a reboot then. They're starting fresh, which is great. Do it! It's what we need. A fresh vision. Transformers needs redeeming, and this film has kind of redeemed Transformers. People have seen, yes, you can make a good Transformers movie with the right vision. So please let this indicate a reboot, which it must do. Just please. It feels good to finally not be the only one on the planet that loves a Transformers movie for a change. Honestly, the amount of times that I've had to justify my existence purely because I like a bit of Michael Bay, Transformer action, is astounding. We live in a free country, a free world, and yet if you like a Michael Bay Transformers movie that isn't the first one, suddenly your opinion of the film is just null and void. It doesn't count anymore. And it won't happen anymore at Bumblebee, because this is a genuinely good film that people actually really like. So I feel like I finally belong somewhere. To quote a Linkin Park song, I finally feel like I'm somewhere I belong. Alright guys and gals, that is it for my video talking about Bumblebee. Yes, I have definitely missed a lot of details about the movie. I haven't talked about everything. I just wanted to get my thoughts out there on the big points and the things that I could remember from my notes that I wrote down about the film. And plus, I wanted to make a shorter video this time, because a lot of the videos I make are really long, and I want to try and make them a bit shorter, you know, because not everybody's going to want to watch a long 20-minute video of me rambling on about nothing for ages. So I'm just trying to make the videos shorter, make them more brief. That means I'm not going to talk about everything about future movie reviews that I'm going to do. For the film, I'm not going to give a rating. I might do ratings eventually down the line, but quite frankly, I can't think off the top of my head what I'd rate this film. It'd be a high rating, but I'm just going to stick with general reviews and thoughts for now and not actually give ratings. I might do it in the future, but for now, I ain't going to do that. I'm sorry. Well, that just about covers it for this Bumblebee review, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, as ever, for tuning into the video. If you liked what you saw, do click the subscribe button, and if you want to see more content in the future, press the little bell button to get notified whenever I upload anything new. Check out the channel, I do have other videos, and there's going to be more to come. Thank you very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen, and ciao for now.